Hey guys, I just wanted to leave a quick video on the scale because I know that I talked to some of you guys about it personally, but also I am in the test group with Autumn, and she talked about this yesterday, so Sunday actually. So I just kind of wanted to reiterate it and make it clear, regardless of what program you're doing, if you're doing 80-day obsession, or if you're doing something on your own, or if you're doing T25, it's important to read the manual or the program guideline to kind of see how the program works and how long it is and go from there. I have always been one to recommend taking your progress pictures, your measurements, and your weight before you start a program, and then doing them again when you finish the program. In between, that's where it gets kind of tricky, like on the week to week, because I know when you guys are working hard, you're eating clean, and you're changing your lifestyle, you want the results to just fly off, and you want to see the results reflected in the number on the scale. And while some of you might have success with that, other people, it's going to take them a little bit longer to lose weight. And there's a few reasons why. So first of all, Autumn recommended, if you are going to weigh yourself at all in between, the beginning and the end, for 80-day obsession specifically, she recommends only doing it at the start and finish of each phase. So right now, for my 80-day obsession people, we are in phase 1. We have one more week, I believe, until we swap to phase 2. When we hit phase 2, that's when you would want to take, step on the scale, take your measurements, and all of that stuff. And don't just do one, do all 3. Because the issue is if you, only step on the scale, then you only have that number to reflect on. And God forbid you, gain a pound or only lose a half a pound, you're going to say, well, this program doesn't work. And you're going to have doubt, and you aren't going to try as hard simply because of the number on the scale. However, if you took pictures and you did a side-by-side picture of yourself, you might see that you replaced 5 pounds of fat with 5 pounds of muscle. And as we know, a pound of fat is the same as a pound of muscle in terms of how much it weighs, but it's a lot less dense muscle than fat. So you're going to have a much thinner, more leaner frame. And if you never take those pictures, you would never know. And it's hard for us when we see each other, see yourself in the mirror every day, you're going to think, well, I look the same, or I see a small difference, but this, that, and the other thing. When you take pictures, you can really physically see exactly where your body is transforming. And I think that's important for you guys to know. So if you're not doing 80-day obsession, I still recommend only doing it before and after. Or if you're doing, T25, which has multiple phases, alpha, beta, and gamma, I believe, then maybe do it when you start those new phases. Or smack dab in the middle if you're doing, a program that's 4 weeks or 8 weeks long, like PiYo or something like that, where you can kind of say, okay, this is my starting point, this is my midpoint, this is my end point. But I don't want you to get caught up weekly because your body is going to be swollen at various points in time from, if it was a heavy lifting week, or maybe, it was more repetition-based rather than weight-based, so maybe you aren't as swollen or whatever the case. But another recommendation is that you do it on a rest day, and you do it at the same time every single day. So if you're going to weigh yourself, then you should weigh yourself at the same exact time every single time you weigh yourself. And have it be, after you've gone to the bathroom and before you've eaten anything, so that way there's no other things that could possibly be throwing it off, and you'll have a more accurate number to reflect on. So those are just some things that I wanted to bring up. I don't want you to get caught up on the number on the scale. I know it's hard as women. We want to be a certain number, but maybe genetically it just might not be in the cards for you. However, you could have a body that looks 10 pounds lighter than that number if you, replace fat with muscle. So I want you to keep that in mind. Don't only base your results and your level of success off of the number that you see on the scale.